Okay, right, we're back and we are making waves at DefSec Atlantic. I tell you, there is a lot of excitement in the room. There are some really, really large companies in the room, and there's a lot of other companies here that are really interested in kind of getting to know some of those bigger players in the industry, and we're certainly excited to have one of those guys on with us today. I'm very happy to have Glen Copeland on the Making Waves podcast, but Glen, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Glen Copeland. I'm with Lockheed Martin Canada. I'm the Business Development Director for the Rotary and Mission Systems arm of Lockheed Martin. So we represent all of our product line, which is largely predominantly Navy, radar-based, and now helicopters as part of our program. We also do training systems. We have underwater capability within our line of business, and a lot of the submarine opportunities, fire control systems, etc. So we're doing a lot of that work here in Canada.
That's interesting. We're going on a submarine tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we're going on the Victoria class tomorrow. But Glen, tell us a little bit about you, man. Where are you from? What got you into this world?
Okay, originally from Niagara Falls, and I joined the Navy back in 1989, and knew Al from pretty much day one. And it's been a career, almost 23 years, between that and a couple of years in the reserves on the backside. And then I left and I went to work for Lockheed Martin. The opportunity came about when I had left the Navy as in fleet training, and before that I was the tactical officer associated with teaching principal warfare officers in the ORO course. So I knew the training systems fairly well, and then Lockheed Martin had won the Halifax class modernization program in 2009.
Right.
And so it was just kicking off, and they came to me and they said, listen, we'd love to have you on board if you can come help us. And at that point it was ready to transition, and I joined the company as a project manager. And so I worked on their training systems for a number of years, and then I just got to know the industry here in Halifax as a result of an opportunity that the company supported me for when I became the head of the Aerospace and Defense Association here back in, I think it was 2011, 2012.
Right.
And so the company thought that was great, and so they said, we'd love to have you out there in the community. And one thing kind of led to another, and I had a very good time with that group, and I got to know most of the local players here in Halifax. And from there, it was really an opportunity to kind of cement our business within the region. Right. So HCM was growing. It was a difficult program at the start because it was just so much new. But we started transitioning through that, had a lot of good success, training, software development, product development, a lot of good suppliers for us here, and we just became an anchor in the region. And as a result, we just got to know our partners here so well, whether it was government or whether it was industry or federal government, and it just grew for us. And the opportunities kind of grew for me. And from there, the company asked me to become the director for the business development arm for all of the business we do in Canada.
It's not bad for a fellow from Niagara Falls, I can tell you that.
You're a Navy guy?
We're a Navy guy from Niagara Falls. I think you're the first fellow I ever met from Niagara Falls that joined the Navy.
Right by the falls.
Right by the falls. Glen, you're one of those guys, in the room that you seem to know everybody here, and I love the way you describe Lockheed Martin as an anchor here, right? And that's so true.
We like to consider, we've got three major facilities in Canada. Obviously our headquarters are in Ottawa. That's where a lot of our administrative is, and that's positioned next to the government. And we do have software development work there and production. But here in Halifax, it really is where things took off for us. It really took root because we were next to the customer, and the CMS 330, which is our anchor product, which is the command and control system on the Halifax class, the Arctic offshore patrol ships, the joint support ships, soon to be CSC, and a couple of international programs, were largely developed out of here with the talent that we got out of places like Dalhousie University.
Right.
And the many universities around here, and UNB, etc.
Right.
So as a result of that, it became just a real center of gravity for us to develop that product and move out, and we built the facility as part of Halifax class, and we've retained it.
Right. A lot of excitement right now in the industry. It's there's a lot of growth here, a lot of opportunities for people to be a part of it. I love how you talk about the universities, and that connection between government, industry, and academia is vital. Would you agree?
It's critical.
Yeah.
It's absolutely critical, and I think as we transition through this, and I remember back to the time when Nova Scotia was coming out, and at the same time 2010, 2011, looking to understand what their future was, and they realized they were centered around ocean tech, and defense was a part of that.
Yeah.
And so they really put a lot of time and effort in as a municipality and as a province growing their technical base. We benefited from that, so it was very mutual.
Right.
So we trained them, and engineers, you grow a young group, and then they become mid-level managers.
Right.
They have their kids here. They're fresh out of university, and I come back and see them now, and they've got 2 or 3 kids in the family, and, and they're established. Right.
Yeah.
So that's worked well for us, and from that it feeds off, and I think all of the other industries have benefited as well here.
Glenn, we had Admiral Santarpi on yesterday, and he used a good friend, right? And he used the term service when he described the industry partner. He said it again last night at the gala event. He used the term service to say that the people that are in this room that may not be in uniform are serving our country. And that's you, Glenn. You've not left the service.
I don't necessarily look at it that way all the time, but you do feel when you take off the uniform, there's still a part of you that's there, and you know that your friends are there.
Yeah.
And when you give back, or when you provide a product back, you want to go the extra mile. You want to give. You want to make sure that you haven't missed details. You want to make sure that you're happy to sit down and vet those requirements to the nth detail, because these are the people that your whole life that are going to use the product you give them.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Jerry? Here you've got an industry leader, multinational company like Lockheed Martin, using words like, I want to give back.
Well, it struck me. I wrote down the word kids. When you talked about families, like Alan and I talk a lot about this.
Right.
What Lockheed Martin is doing for this community in giving opportunities and letting youth graduate from university and get employment, have families, like that's what this is all about.
It is.
You're helping make this country better. You're providing service. You're serving the country, but you're doing something really special for the community, and that is to be commended. So, Glenn, thank you for that.
I really appreciate that. No, it's my pleasure.
Well, what an absolute wonderful conversation, Glenn. We really appreciate it. I mean, I referred to you outside of the taping as the Seinfeld of the DefSec Atlantic show, because your speech last night was brilliant. Your timing was perfect, and it was a nice way to have a gala event. Glenn, it's certainly great to be in conversation with you, and thank you for what you're doing here in the economic growth of this country. Thank you.
No, it's our pleasure. It's a great place, and we're happy to be here.
Thank you.